In recent years, China has loudly proclaimed its achievements in the field of military technology, especially in the development of stealth drones. However, China's real successes in this area are far from the propaganda claims. An almost comical scene is playing out on Changxing Island. Two plastic models of the allegedly stealth drone GJ-11 are being tested on landing ships. Why not test the real GJ-11 under real conditions? The answer is obvious. China is seriously behind in deck stealth drone technology. By comparison, the US Navy successfully landed an unmanned X-47B on the aircraft carrier George H.W. Bush as recently as 11 years ago. The GJ-11 is positioned as a stealth drone, but there is no official data on its effective scattering area, EDA. Chinese media speculate without any basis that the GJ-11's EPR is 0.01 to 0.1 square meters. Even if this is true, there is nothing to brag about. The F-35 has an EDA an order of magnitude smaller at similar dimensions, and the EPR of the F-22 and B-2 is 100 times lower. Some Chinese experts argue that the flying wing scheme and stealth coating are enough for stealth. However, if it were that simple, Chinese stealth bombers would already be in service. Their absence suggests serious problems with stealth technology. The GJ-11 design clearly copies the American B-21, but the Chinese drone is twice as short and 3 times as narrow. Clearly, China is trying to reduce the EPR by reducing size. At the same time, the American X-47B with similar dimensions has less conspicuousness than the B-2. Why didn't the US continue its development? Probably to prevent China from copying advanced technology. China also boasts that the GJ-11 can detect various stealth targets in passive mode at ranges exceeding the capabilities of UAVs. However, such claims should be treated with skepticism. The effectiveness of modern detection systems depends largely on the level of electronic components. Chinese military equipment often has problems with the accuracy of target detection. The PAI's lauded data sharing system has long been the object of study for the US military. Last year, a senior US Pacific Command official publicly expressed interest in studying the vulnerabilities of China's data communication system. Obviously, a system that has been targeted by the US is unlikely to be effective in real combat. One would have to be very naive to believe that China can surpass the US in stealth technology. China has the GJ-11, but that is probably the limit of their capabilities. That said, the GJ-11 design itself is borrowed not only from the B-21, but also from the US X-47B and RQ-170. Moreover, the RQ-170 was introduced back in 2007. The PRC is trying to deceive American radars with a small flying wing drone with stealth coating. But they forget that the US military's capabilities are much broader than Beijing seems to realize. During Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan in 2022, the US deployed Growler RDV aircraft that easily suppressed Chinese J-16Ds despite claims of the latter's superiority. China shamelessly calls the GJ-11 the world's first operational stealth strike drone and possibly the first stealth drone. However, the X-47B made its maiden flight in 2011, while the GJ-11 was only unveiled in 2019, a full 8 years later. As for the title of first stealth slave, the GJ-11 is even less deserving of the title. The Loyal Wingman project was proposed by the US military back in 2015, and Boeing's prototype for the Australian Air Force successfully flew on February 27, 2020. The main reason why the PRC is emphasizing the deployment of GJ-11 drones on aircraft carriers is due to the poor performance of the existing UAVs. They are hoping that the claimed stealth capabilities and longer range of the GJ-11 will compensate for the shortcomings in the detection range and stealth of their DRDO aircraft. Recently, Chinese television showed a 3D animation of a GJ-11 taking off and landing on a Type 075 landing craft, which raised many questions. If the GJ-11 has indeed been in service for a long time and China has its own aircraft carriers, why not film the actual takeoff and landing instead of a virtual animation? This raises doubts about the PAI's ability to meet the challenges of autonomous drone landing in the rocking and moving environment of an aircraft carrier deck. Drone landing on an aircraft carrier is much more complex than shown in the animation. It requires a long detection range, stable data transmission, and the drone itself must adapt to the complex environment of an aircraft carrier and land safely on the deck. This places very high demands on the drone's design and flight control systems. An interesting discovery was made late last year. Google Earth images showed that in December 2022, the GJ-11 drone was undergoing measurements of the effective scattering area at an airfield in Hebei province. However, military observers were quick to point out that this test was conducted too close to urban areas, where background interference from various electronic devices and buildings severely distorted the measurements. Weak radar reflections from the GJ-11 could easily have gotten lost in this background. As a result, the measured EPR could have been much lower than the real value, making the GJ-11 look more stealth than it really is. In the field of AI drones, the gap between China and the US is growing rapidly. The US, with its strong leadership in AI chips, algorithms, and systems engineering, is accelerating the era of unmanned warfare. China, while not far behind in terms of propaganda, faces significant challenges in chips and complex algorithms, where it is severely limited. The GJ-11 drone story is a prime example of Chinese military propaganda. Impressive at first glance, but lacking in substance. Perhaps they think that showing models and animations will deceive people. But in today's information world, such paper tiger propaganda is more likely to be exposed. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support is very important to us. We wish you all the best and hope to see you in the next videos.